Okay, so now this one is a very important section. So what happened is you get a series of experimental results. So they say they go through some reaction, then after that, then they show you the results, then they ask you to, based on those results, right, arrange the metals or the given data, the metals in the order of either from least reactive to the most reactive, or the most reactive to the least reactive. And then all other questions related to that as well. So for example, this one, you are given three beakers and three metals and four metals actually, with information about four metals and their salt. Then they say arrange in order of increasing reactivity. That means from the least to the most reactive. Okay, so I'll go through one example. There are plenty of examples behind because this is important. Okay, let's look at the first beaker here. We have metal P and salt Q, or salt of metal Q. Then the observation is that metal Q is displaced. So what can I conclude about the reactivity? Is P more reactive or Q is more reactive?
Q is more reactive than P.
If Q is more reactive than P, then P will not be able to displace it. You have P metal and Q salt. Now, if P is more reactive than Q, then displacement takes place. So if Q is more reactive than P, then in this case, right, no reaction. Okay, are we together?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, the first conclusion is P is more reactive than Q. Second one, Q into metal salt R.
R is more reactive than Q.
R is displaced. If Q displaces R, then Q is more reactive. You catch what I'm saying? If Q displaces R, Q is more reactive. Then the last one, R and S. S is displaced. So who is more reactive?
R is more reactive than F.
Okay. So who is the least reactive here?
S.
S is the least reactive. So you do least to the most. The most reactive is P, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then so it's S, R, Q, then P. Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now down here, so wait again. SRQP, SRQP. This is this is the least, this is the most. Okay, so now they say the four metals are iron, zinc, lead, and copper. If Q is iron, then they say label the rest. P is zinc. That's copper, R, lead, P, zinc. Okay, next. So now with that example 7, you can try 8. So you have metal, and metal reacts with acid, then reaction with carbon on the oxide, and metal on the solution of the chloride ash. Let's try this before we go through. Then look for the order. So you're supposed to pick the order. Which of the following is in the correct order of increasing reactivity? So it's the least reactive to the most reactive. So which is the order? You kind of established the order just now. Let's see. Any issue with the explanation in the paragraph there? Okay, 9. The experiment was carried out to determine the reactivity of 3 metals. So increasing order of reactivity again. D, Q, P, R. Q is the lowest. So P is less reactive because it can be reduced by carbon. Okay. Place the metals in order of increasing reactivity. All different pattern, but they want you to do the arrangement. How is it? So reactivity, you can, based on the words, the vocabulary used, you can actually kind of guess the reaction. So if it's a very vigorous reaction, then it is the most reactive. Then if there is no reaction with water, that means it's not reactive at all. So you see how big the words are. So increasing, very slow and mild. Which one is more vigorous? Yeah. E, G, F, H. Yep, correct. Okay, suggest the identity of G. That means you can go to your reactivity series and pick something suitable. Magnesium. Okay. C. Which metals is or are able to displace G from its solution of salts? Okay. Or F. Why is F possible?
Because mole is
Hmm.
more vigorous of a
Yeah,
reaction
so
that
that means
very slow.
F is more reactive than G. Okay, next one. That means which one can react with carbon? This one I think we can skip this. You'll see this section later. The anything that can be extracted by carbon should be white air. It's not so reactive. A metal that is can be extracted by carbon is not so reactive. So this is under extraction of metal. I show you the slides. Huh? Okay, so it's based on this one. So there is a carbon line here. Anything under the carbon line can be extracted with carbon. So this is the answer for the other part. So which means E, you pick the one that is the least reactive. Those can be extracted by carbon. Okay.